is Monday, May 31st of 2021, and I'm on my way home from Ohio. So there'll be stories about that and other stuff like that all today on Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! And hello everyone, and welcome to Guy's Daily Drive as I meander through the hills and valleys of Ohio on my way back home to Northern Virginia. I have had a really nice time. It was great to get out of town for a little bit, just to not be in the same place that you've been for the last year or so. And the fact that I've had both my vaccination shots means that mostly I can go where I want to go without having a mask on, though I still keep one in my pocket, because if for some reason someone wants people to wear masks, then okay. I want to make sure I got it covered. That's odd. Never mind about that. So, here I am, barreling down I-70. I left Dave's house. It was, I guess it was about 9:30 this morning. And got on the road and took 77 south until I got to I-70. Now I'm on I-70 East. This will take me through parts of West Virginia, past Wheeling, and then I'll get on I-79 and go south through a little bit of Pennsylvania, and then because of the weird way that the states are connected, I'll be back in West Virginia again until I get into Maryland, and then of course Washington D.C. So, but to give you a little tour de force of what I was doing while I was here in Ohio. I don't know what's going on here, but people are slowing down. And as I usually say here on Guy's Daily Drive, driving is job one. That is the most important thing that I can be doing. So, if I get distracted or somewhat disjointed as I'm going along here with whatever it is I'm going to tell you, that is why, because I'm paying more attention to, this crazy thing that I'm doing, which is driving this car. So, I left Virginia on Friday morning and made pretty good time all the way here to Ohio. And we didn't really do much on Friday. We went and got some food and bought a bottle of bourbon, 1776 bourbon, which was quite tasty. And we've left behind an empty bottle of 1776 bourbon back at Dave's house. It's gone. Saturday we got up and did something that, even I lived here in Ohio for like 3-4 years in Akron and Columbus, but mostly in Akron. And one of the things that I always used to say, well, I need to go do that, I need to go do that, I need to go do that, and then never did, was going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So Saturday morning we get up and we drive down to Canton from where Dave lives. Stopped at a DXL store, which is a store for big and tall, and I bought a couple of shirts. And then we go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. If you've never been, if you're a fan of football, all of the greats are there. All of the athletes that have contributed in large amounts and excelled in their particular positions are all listed there in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And as I went through and I was looking at some of the names, and I'm not going to say any names, but there were some that I saw that I think were just there because they were on really, really good teams. And that's not to say that pro football athletes aren't great athletes. They certainly are great athletes. But in order to excel yourself to the point where I would think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, it's not about your win-loss record. Whoa, truck. It's about what you did as an athlete, how you performed as an athlete, regardless of what kind of team that you were on. And there were a lot of guys there who never won championships, but were on, they were recognized for being the professionals that they were. So, but it was still fun. I mean, regardless, just going through there. There was like this sort of multimedia presentation, kind of holographic, with Joe Namath, and then they went through this weird spinning theater, and we're not really sure why they had to do the spin, but they did the spin for last year's coronavirus-driven and compressed football season. And it was really painful for me to watch because while I like Tampa Bay as a team, I don't like Tom Brady. So all of the congratulations that were going toward Tom Brady as they were going through this, it was just kind of like, ugh, can we get past this, please? But it was, regardless, we still had a good time. Then the next day, we went down to this, I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's a museum that has a bunch of airplanes. It's down by I think it's the Akron-Canton Airport. And they had just a ton of airplanes. And we got this guy who was kind of our tour guide taking us through. Very, very knowledgeable. Very smart. And corrected me on a number of things. I love talking about planes. Sometimes I can come across as, guy knows everything, but I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything. And anytime I said something wrong, this guy was like, nope, it was this, or no, it was that. So I appreciated that, if only to expand my own knowledge of the subject. Especially when we got over to the dirigibles and blimps. Loved that section. But it's the MAPS, M-A-P-S, and I can't remember exactly what that stands for. But if you just look up, MAPS Aviation Museum, it'll probably come up. And if I remember, I'll put a link in the show notes for it. It's not real expensive, but you can sit there and just peruse for hours. You can get on board a DC-3. You can sit in the cockpit of a Apache helicopter or things like that. And of course, most of these they're actually real planes. Most of these planes, the engines are removed, and they'll likely never fly again. You can't just go out and buy a fully working F-16, even if it's just going to sit in a museum. It just doesn't work that way. So, but that was a lot of fun. And then that evening, last night, we killed off the last of the bourbon and went down to a local grocery store where they do ribs, and brought some ribs back. Delicious ribs and mashed potatoes. Just so much good food. Then got up this morning and it was like, okay, we're going to go and we're going to have, today's Memorial Day. We're going to go out and we're going to have pancakes at the Clinton Historical Society. They were having a benefit and doing pancakes. And that's fine. It was held at the Clinton Firehouse. And Clinton, Ohio, of course. And the food was good. It's kind of hard to really mess up super badly, pancakes. But it wasn't Southern ham, it was more like just deli ham, so that was like nothing spectacular. But the pancakes were good, the company was good. Met up with some people that Dave and Joyce knew quite well, and that, I knew somewhat. They knew who I was, I knew who they were. And just nice time, good conversation. All of it was just so much fun. And again, just getting out of town was what made the whole thing just spectacular for me. And now, it's the long drive home. And this is the part I always dread. Going someplace, regardless of where it is, doesn't seem to take that long, but the drive back just can seem to take forever. But I'll be motoring along. I should be home sometime between, I guess, 5 and 6 tonight, according to my apps here. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to talk about. So on the way to Ohio, I used Apple Maps. And it has, in the new version of Apple Maps, there are some features that kind of mimic what Waze does with road hazards, police, stopped vehicles, things along those lines. But it's very, very rudimentary, very basic. And you don't get, because not many people are using it that way yet, it just came out, you don't see a lot on it other than what you yourself report. So I kind of had Waze going in the background for anything that might have popped up. Speed police, slowdowns for hazards, traffic, what have you. Just had kind of Waze running in the background. But now on the way, and that's not to say that it's not a good map experience for getting you where you need to go. It's very, very good. And I had absolutely no problems along those lines. And once Apple takes a little bit more time and is able to go through more categories in there and more people are using it in a similar way to how they use Waze, I'm sure it'll be much better, and I won't hesitate to use it again in the future. But now on my way back, I'm using Waze. And Waze just has pretty much everything. And the only complaint that I've had about Waze in the past was if you saw something and you wanted to report it, there was like this triage of menus that you had to go through, which is not really good to do while you're driving. But that's gotten better with the latest version of iOS and the updates that Waze has made to the program. So as far as excuse me, as far as I'm concerned, Waze is still the GPS king when it comes to long distance driving. But that is going to do it for me today, for right now, unless on my way home I decide to record another one. I haven't done these in a while. If you'd like to get a hold of me and tell me where to go, and there's lots of people that want to tell me where to go, you can send that to my email address, which is guy@mymac.com. You can also reach me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot and Vert Shark over there on the Twitters. You can go over to YouTube, do a search for Vert Shark, and see all of the videos that I have coming up there, whether it's from mymac.com or Mac to the Future or Guy's Daily Drive. They all end up in Vert Shark on YouTube. So if you want to see all the latest ones, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Did you see it the first time? It's like, share, subscribe. All you got to do. It's so easy. Speaking of podcasts, Carl and Gaz did the mymac.com podcast for this weekend, and I say thank you to them so that we didn't fall behind. I appreciate the fact that they've done so. Carl's talking about using your iPhone as a video camera, and he's been doing this for a while. He's very, very knowledgeable on the subject. So check that out. That's My Mac Podcast 851. There's also, of course, Mac to the Future Go, the live cast that I do on Wednesday nights with Lawrence Sklar and David Ginsburg. And of course, lastly, there is Guys Daily Drive, which is what I'm doing right now. And also sometimes on Tuesday nights you can catch me over in Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices Roundtable, which is a terrific show of anywhere from 5 to 10 or more Macexperts that are talking about whatever the topics are that's coming up. It's very fun, very entertaining, very educational. So you can see all of those. So check out Mac Voices, the MyMac.com podcast, as well as Mac to the Future over there on the Facebooks. Join us if you'd like to. Be happy to have you. That is going to do it for me today. Thank you all so very, very much for downloading, watching, and or listening to Guys Daily Drive. And I will see you, all of you, next time.